There is a lot of animosity between the public and journalists due to a lack of trust and a lack of understanding. Here is a short clip that exemplifies this broken relationship.
Coverage about me. Now, the media in this country has zero credibility.
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed.
It never tells you that it is fake news. We let you know from the beginning. We are on Comedy Central.
Tweeted out a link to what he and Republicans call unrelenting bias and unfair news coverage.
So these are a few national examples of this relationship, but this is happening on a local level across the nation, which is where our product, XPoint, comes in. XPoint is a tool to help video journalists easily increase transparency in their video news stories. As you can see on the screen, there is a box. This is an XPoint. This is where a journalist includes information such as their sources, methods, and motives. This box will show next to a video online. Sources. Why did you use that source? Why is that source important to your story? Method. How did you obtain this information and where did it come from? Motives. Why this story? What is the point? Our primary goal is to give video journalists a tool to easily increase transparency in their reporting. But we also have a second goal: to provide an education tool to increase the public's knowledge of the journalistic process.
So what does it look like for you as a news consumer using this product? When you first load a web page and you're ready to view a piece of video news content, the first thing you're going to see is the XPoint box. This is going to be wherever the company has decided to put it. It could be to the left, the right, above or below, doesn't matter. Before the video begins, you'll see a small description of XPoint as well as some links to additional media that you can go and look at if you don't know what XPoint is or if you want to get some more information. Then, as the video is playing, a few seconds before an XPoint's available, in the upper right-hand corner of the video player, you're going to see a small notification. This notification is going to let you know that an XPoint is going to be available. Should you choose to click on this notification, your screen will be readjusted, and then you'll be able to see the most recently relevant XPoint. At the end of the video, shortly before it ends, you'll see another small notification in the upper right-hand corner of the video player. This notification is going to let you know that there's an XPoint summary available. Then, if you click on that, you'll be able to see all the relevant XPoints that were available for this specific video.
Focusing on the education and ease factor of our objective, we have several features that XPoint offers. First, a definition bank. This is so journalists can include the definition of commonly used terms in their video news stories, such as an anonymous source, explaining what an anonymous source is and why that source they used they kept anonymous. Geotags. This is so you can tag the photo or video in your story and show its location. Historical reference banks. This is so a journalist can include and give a little more context to maybe the history they're referencing. Social media tags. If a user submits a photo or a video to a news corporation to include in that video, this is so you can give them credit right off the bat. Title banks. If there's possibly a confusing title, maybe Secretary of State, that people don't fully understand what the job entails, you can include that in the product. Presets. This is if an XPoint is commonly used and frequently used, you can save it so you can just pop it right in. Customizable. This is where journalists will spend the majority of their time, this is where they can write as much as they see fit about their story to include as much transparency as possible. With all of these features together, XPoint is a new type of service tailored to video journalists. Except a minute to a minute and 30 seconds, which is about the average time of a news story, online video news story, is not enough time to include as much transparency as they need. So our product alleviates this constraint by giving them a space to include information about their methods, their motives, and their sources. In doing so, they will gain a more media literate and informed audience. We have spoken to multiple journalists about this product, and they are very excited and see a need for it. Other reasons that this product should hit the marketplace now. Social. As I mentioned earlier, there is a lot of tension between the public and journalists, and they are looking for a way to increase transparency. Economic. There are few to no other products that are tailored specifically to our niche, video journalists. Technology. This is of course, because journalists are using portable devices more so than ever. they are editing on laptop devices, which means we have a large possible clientele base.
So when XPoint first rolls out, we're going to be a native Mac OS app. We chose to go this route because we didn't want journalists to have to deal with uploading a video to the web, all the stuff that deals with. We want them to just be able to edit right on the device where that video lives so they can focus on that experience and not have to worry about all of the other annoying stuff. So what is it going to look like for a journalist making an XPoint? The first thing they're going to see when they create a new project is the video. Right below that is going to be the XPoint preview box. As they're editing XPoints and working on their story, this is where the XPoints are going to be shown. They can select them for editing, or if they want to remove them, this is where they can do that. Right below that is where they can add a feature if they want, something like a geotag, title, or historical reference. And below that is the meat and bones of XPoint. This is where the journalist is going to take the time that they need to properly explain themselves, their methods, their sources, their motives, and hopefully give the public a little bit more insight into how this story came to be. And below that is just the button to add that feature and that content to the XPoint. So after that whole process is done, they've made all the XPoints they want and they're happy with how everything looks. They're going to export their project. It'll be uploaded to our database and they're going to be given an ID. This ID is what's going to be used to link our database to their web page. We want them to be able to focus on the things that really matter, telling their story.
XPoint will be offered in two packages, the Silver and the Gold package. Now, the Gold package has everything the Silver package has, plus a few more features, such as the transparency guide, the geotag, the social media tag, historical reference banks, and title banks. Something I want to feature on this page and highlight is our transparency guide. This will be a list of questions to spark ideas of what the journalist should include in their stories. For our roadmap, in 3 months, we plan to roll out an iOS app. In 6 months, we plan to roll out and develop the Windows app. In 12 months, we plan to pitch to 105 stations across LA, New York City, Dallas, Philadelphia, and Chicago. These are major hubs of news that have a wide variety of newsrooms that we can pitch to. Over this next 12 months and forward, we plan to constantly get feedback from journalists to make more features and improve features for them, because this is for them. So be part of this movement. XPoint is a crucial step toward mending the relationship between the public and journalists. We do this by providing a source and a tool that allows them to easily increase transparency in their news reporting. We are combating the time restraints that they face every day, and they give them enough space to include their sources, methods, and motives. If the public reads XPoints, they will become more media literate and have more information to make an educated decision about the news they consume. Be part of this movement, and thank you.